Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We're going to take a little detour this week. Originally, we were supposed to talk about creating a class website, but I think that last week when we talked about blogs and we talked about other communication tools, I think we covered that area sufficiently enough for where we are right now. What I'd like to do this week is address a topic that has brought a lot of email questions during the course of this program. I've gotten a lot of questions on how to work with digital photos and digital videos that you take of your class. We all have digital cameras, whether they're small cameras or we're using our iPhone cameras, whatever it is, we are always taking pictures, and we don't always know what to do with the pictures when we're finished. So today's lesson, which is actually going to be our final pre-recorded lesson, our final formal pre-recorded lesson, I should say, we're going to take a look at how to use digital photography, how to use the available tools to really bring your classroom out to the public and to take it to the next level. Okay, so we're going to be talking about working with digital media. And when we use the term media, we're talking about our everyday digital items like digital photos, digital videos, and other things that we can easily create. We all have digital devices nowadays, especially with our cell phones, our other devices that have digital cameras built in, our tablets, and so on and so forth. So we're all walking around with these devices, and they can be amazing and useful classroom tools. Okay, so we all take digital photos like we talked about. If I'm sure most of us in our classrooms, especially if we're doing class projects or we have a play going on or there are presentations or what have you, or maybe even for just regular classwork, we all are taking digital photos. If you're not, like I said, I highly recommend you start, because of all of the things we've talked about in previous lessons as far as communication and involving the parents and expanding your global community, taking digital photos is just probably one of the most simple and yet effective things you can do. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at 5 easy steps that will help you take these digital photos and even digital videos, and will help you to be able to, like I said in the introduction, really take your classroom into the digital age to the next level. And these are all simple things that you can do that will make your classroom much more interactive and much more collaborative, and will really also help to point out your efforts and your hard work that you undertake each and every class session. Okay, so first of all, like we said, just to review, why should we take photos and videos of our class? First of all, like we said, it's a very easy way of publicizing class activities. If you're doing something special in the classroom, take a few photos, take a video. It's easy to do, and it goes a long way. Second, it involves the parents in the global community, and we've spoken about this a lot in previous weeks. Parents love getting photos of their kids' classes. I know even when my kids' teachers send me an email with a photo link or with things that they're doing, it's great. I always look for my kids. I always want to know what they're doing. I can talk to my children about the activities afterwards. It's a nice thing. Also, like we said before, photos can highlight your efforts in the classroom. Parents don't always realize, and I've said this before, what goes into each and every class and what teachers go through to make sure that the classroom experience is optimal for each and every student. And when you take photos of your successful class activities, it can also sometimes make the parents see how hard you're working and all the efforts that you're going through on a daily basis. Also very important, and we forget about this one sometimes, photos provide a record for future semesters and for later in the year. I can tell you personally, I've had many opportunities where I've taken photos one year, and I've actually gone back for my own reference to those photos later on to see how I did something, to see how I created that sign, or to see how I had the students interact with each other, or to see what type of assignment I gave out. Of course, we keep lesson plans, but sometimes a picture, as the saying goes, speaks 1,000 words, and we can learn a lot just by looking at a picture from the past. So these are just some of the reasons why it's important to take photos and videos on a regular basis. Okay, like I said, we're going to take a look at 5 easy steps for working with digital media. These 5 steps are things that you can all do, and hopefully you'll find simple enough. Okay, step number 1, know your equipment. And this is very, very important. A lot of times I get called for help because people don't know what they're holding in their hand. And it's important that if you're using a digital camera, you don't have to know all of the functions, but know the basics. Most digital cameras are fairly simple to use. But again, it's a good idea to learn the basic functionalities. And here are just some of the things that I would recommend you knowing before you get started. First of all, learn how to zoom in and out. Basic photography function, but can really make a difference in your images. Learn how to review the photos. Learn how to look at the camera to see the photos on the camera that you've taken previously. Learn how to switch between photo and video modes. Most cameras have just either a little dial, or on the iPhone it's a little slide button that you can adjust to alternate between shooting photos and shooting moving video. Know how to do that because it could be useful for you. And finally, very importantly, know how to connect your camera to the computer to transfer files. Every camera, I'll show you in a minute, every camera comes with some type of cord, either a USB cord or a FireWire cable. Doesn't matter what type of cable it is, but you want something that is going to be easy to transfer your photos from the camera onto the computer. Now, if you're using your iPhone or your Android phone to take the photos, yes, a lot of this can also happen wirelessly. For example, if you have an Android phone and you have Google Plus, then the photos will actually automatically transfer. You don't even need the cable. But if you're using a traditional digital camera, then having that cable can really help you out. Now, I have my iPhone connected to my computer right now. You can't see it, but I'll just show you how to find the photos once the camera is connected. Okay, here I am on the desktop of my computer, and you can see that I have an icon called Computer. Some of you may have an icon called My Computer. The idea is that you want to look for the icon with the word computer in the title. Depending on which version of Windows you have, or if you're using a Mac, it has different names, but generally something to do with computers. So I'm going to go ahead and click that icon to open the computer window. Okay, I've opened the window, and you can see I have my hard drive, my C drive, I have my DVD drive, any network drives that I may be connected to. But what's important here is my portable devices. And you can see that my iPhone, which is called REA Work, is plugged into my computer, and I can access it the same way as I would any other folder, whether it be my documents or my pictures or what have you. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and I'm going to click on the internal storage. And most digital cameras use a folder called DCIM. Don't worry about what it stands for right now, but this is usually where your images and videos and anything you've taken with your camera, this is usually where they'll be saved. And here we go. You can see that all the photos I've taken with my digital camera, which is on my iPhone, are saved here. Now, I can scroll through and select all of the photos if I want. I can do a Control A, which, as you can see, selects everything. Or, if I deselect, I can look around for the things that I really want or I really need. So let's say I have things on my computer, on my camera, from a year ago. I don't need those right now, so I'm just going to select the first 4 pictures that I really need. So I can either I can use the Control key to select individual pictures, or if I have a line of pictures that I want to select, I can click on the first one, and then I can hold the Shift key down and click on the last one that I want. So as you can see here, these 4 pictures are now selected. So now I can right-click and I can do Copy, and I can now go to my Pictures folder, and I can either create a new folder, we'll call this Test just for our purposes, or I can just paste them directly in the Pictures library, and I can right-click again, and I can press Paste. Now, these photos, let's make them a little bit bigger so you can see them. These photos have now been copied from my digital camera, which in this case is my iPhone, but again, if I was using any other camera, it would be the same thing. These photos have now been copied from my camera to my computer. And what that means is now I can work with them. I can email them. I can change them. I can do whatever I need to the photos. They're off my phone. They're actually still on the phone. I haven't deleted them, but the copy of the photos that I'm working with now is they are now saved on my computer. Okay. So that's this cable here. If you have an iPhone or an iPod Touch, it's the white cable. If you have a regular digital camera, usually plugs right into the computer's USB cable. And usually once you turn the camera on, it'll automatically register and you just go to that My Computer window and you look for it as one of the new portable devices. That's step number one, knowing your equipment. Let's go to step two. The next thing we have to do is review our images. Often we take more photos than we actually need. It is a good idea to review your collection of videos and photos and delete the items you know you will not use. Most memory cards will hold anywhere between 75 and 200 images. The amount is lower if you are shooting videos. Now, what does this mean? Well, you saw if we open up my phone again, and I'm going to go back to my computer and open up my iPhone so you can look at all the photos I have and the videos. What does that mean? Well, you can see right now I have a lot of different images, some videos here and there saved on my phone. Eventually, my space is going to run out. Eventually, I'm going to go to take a picture and it's going to tell me my memory is full. Now, I want to avoid that happening. I don't want that to happen when I'm in the classroom and I have to go and take a picture. I don't want that error message coming up. So what should I do? Well, whether you do this before you copy the images to your computer like we just did or after, it doesn't really matter. But at some point you want to go through and edit the images, delete the images that you don't want. So if I'm scrolling through here, well, here's an image. Let's say I select the same way I did before. I'm going to control click to select more than one image. And let's say these 3 images I don't want. So I'm going to select them, and then I'm just going to right-click again, and I'm going to press delete. It'll ask me if I am sure that I want to delete these 3 items. I'm going to press yes. And you can see that now those images are removed from my camera. And now, as a result, I have additional space that I can use for other photos. So it's a good idea to do this periodically, especially before you go to take pictures at a new event. It's very frustrating. Believe me, it's happened to me several times. It is very frustrating to get that error message, you have no more room left on your camera. Then you have to try to sit there and try to start deleting them off the camera. It's a mess. It's much better if you remember to do this periodically at the planning stages. Okay, so again, this is done again from the My Computer window. You can just select the images you don't want. The other thing is sometimes, you'll have a series of images. You can see like the ones here that just didn't come out right. The exposure is just totally off. No matter what I do, I'm never going to fix these. So I know that these images are probably not going to be used for anything. So I'm going to delete these 4 images. And you can see very quickly, I've already freed up 7 images from my camera. It's that simple. Okay. So again, every camera has in it a memory card, or in the case of an iPhone or a camera phone, you have internal storage. Most of the standard cameras will, like I said here, will hold anywhere between 75 and 200 images. I know this is a broad range, but it really depends on the quality and the pixels and the size. I'm not going to get into that right now, but again, you can always, before you take out your camera to start shooting pictures of an event, just double check to make sure you have enough space to work with. They'll save you frustration later on. Okay, so that's step 2. Step 3 is editing, and this is probably where the most complicated of the tasks come in. The great thing, though, about digital photos is that we can easily edit them to remove problems or to make adjustments. And the nice thing The great thing today is you do not need to have a lot of experience to do basic photo editing. It used to be in the old days that if you had to know programs like Photoshop, or you had to know Adobe image programs, or photo editor for Microsoft, if you have those programs, if you have Photoshop available from your school, it's certainly an amazing program. But if you don't, that's also okay. Anybody today, in today's day and age, can do editing, simple and professional grade photo editing or video editing for pictures or videos that we take with our digital cameras. Here is a list of 5 absolutely free services. I'm not going to show you all of them, but I'll show you 1 or 2 just so you get the idea. All of these websites provide absolutely free photo and image editing tools. And then the last 2 provide video editing tools. And I'll show you 1 from each column. I'm going to show you right now pixlr.com. Okay, here we are at pixlr.com. You can see it's called Photo Editing Services. This is an absolutely free service. You have a couple of different options here. You have the advanced editor, you have the efficient editor, and you have the playful editor. We're going to go to efficient because for our needs, just for this example, I think that'll suffice, but you can feel free to come back here and play around further if you'd like. Okay, so I've clicked on the editor, and the first thing it's asking me is where I want to find the photo. Where is the photo that I want to edit? So I'm going to press Browse, and remember that folder we created when we transferred the images from my computer. I called it Test. Here it is, and I'm going to take one of the images that I created. I'm going to click on it. It's a picture of my son on a swing. It's sideways right now, and I'm going to show you how we can adjust that picture. So first of all, down here there are different categories of things I can do. Let's start with adjustments. And if I click adjustments, you can see it opens up a whole lot of different options. I'll show you. Let's first of all rotate, because this picture is facing the wrong way. It'll ask us how we want to rotate it. I'm going to just do 190 degrees to the right, and now at least my picture is facing the right way, and I can press apply. Okay, and just to show you a couple of other commonly needed tools, the red eye reduction is needed all the time. You know that sometimes when the flash bounces off the retina, we get red eye in a picture. Well, using a service like this, we can easily remove the red eye. We can also, I'll show you another common tool, this is the contrast. We can adjust the picture's brightness and contrast levels. So if we get a picture that's too dark or too light or whatever it is, we can easily come here and play around, and we can adjust and press apply when we're finished. Now that's adjustments. You can go and play with the rest of these. I can also do a lot of different effects to my pictures. So I'm going to press the effect menu here, and I'm going to press creative, and they give you all sorts of different options. I'll pick Ashley. You can see you can play around, and you can adjust. You can make adjustments. You can do all sorts of cool things to your photographs. You can have a lot of fun here. And we can add borders. We can do, let's add a film border. And again, this is all you can see. Just press apply every time you do something. I can add text to a photo if I want. I'll type my text here. We'll call this example. And you can see it's putting the text box up here. So we'll move it. Here it is. Press apply, and there we go. And you can see how easy this is to do. It's just clicking on the menu you want, doing what you need to do, and pressing apply. Now, when you're finished, let's say you're finished making the adjustments, you can see up here there's a button that says save. So we're going to go ahead and press save. I'm going to give it a name. Let's call it adjustment. I'm going to press save, and I'm going to go ahead. I'm still in the original folder that I got the picture from, so I'm going to press save. And that image is now saved offline. If I reopen, let's go back to that folder in my pictures gallery. We called it test. Here we go. And there it is. And I can open up this edited photo directly on my computer. That's it. That's how simple it is. It's that simple to edit your photograph. I'll show you one more example. And again, you can, these other services, PyZap and PicMonkey, work very much the same way. I just want to show you the YouTube. If you're working with video, let's say you shoot a video with your camera, I'll show you just one example of how you can easily edit the video later on. We're going to go to we've looked at youtube.com many times, but youtube.com, as we know, also enables you to upload videos. And recently, about a year ago, they added an editor tool as well. So not only can you upload videos, but you can actually change them and edit them there as well. Okay, here I am right now at youtube.com/editor. You can see I'm signed in with my YouTube account, so all of my previous uploaded materials are here. You can see some of the JECC videos. Down here, I have my edit line. So let's say I wanted to edit something. All I have to do is take my video, drag it down here, and I can proceed to do whatever I want to it. I can make edits. I can rotate things. I can add text. I can add effects. I can do whatever I want. So again, these processes are very simple. You don't need to have a lot of skills in the advanced programs. If you have a program like Photoshop, like I said, you're welcome to use it, but you certainly don't need it. The last bullet here is Windows Movie Maker. If you have a PC, this is a program that comes pre-installed with Microsoft Windows. It's an absolutely free program. It's an offline program, but you have it if you have a Mac. The equivalent is called iMovie. And both of these programs you can easily use to edit your video. So you can see using these tools, there are also other ones available. If you Google free photo editing or free video editing programs, you'll come up with many more examples. The reason I give you these is because with all of these, you don't need to download anything. A lot of the free programs will ask you to download something. These options I've given you are all done online. So you can just open up like the pixlr.com website, for example, upload your photo, and you're good to go. That's all there is to it. Okay? So that's the editing. Now, once you've edited, it's time to publish and share your photos. The photos you've taken, we assume that you want to share them with your class, with your students, with your parents, with your principal, whoever else. So very easily, and I'm not going to repeat this because I think we've covered it in previous sessions, but I'll just highlight a couple of options. There are several free options for photo and video sharing. I think you're familiar with most of these options. Picasa we've looked at. That's Google's photo suite. If you have Google Plus, which is Google's competition to Facebook, Picasa and Google Plus work very seamlessly together. If you have Facebook, that's an easy one. If you're using an LMS like Edmodo or Schoology, you can easily add photos there as well. If you've created a class blog like we've done in the past lesson, then that works as well. There are also two new programs, which I'll show you one of them shortly. One is called PhotoBucket, and one is called Flickr. Flickr is where they got that. So these are two websites that are called photo or media sharing sites, and I'll show you one of these in just a minute. Okay, so this is step 4. Now, before we get to step 5, let me just show you an example of, let me go back here. I'm going to show you what a site like PhotoBucket looks like. Here I am on photobucket.com. We do have to sign in, but you can see you can either create a user account, or if you already have Facebook or Twitter, you can actually use your Facebook or Twitter accounts to sign directly into PhotoBucket. So I'm going to press sign in. The advantage of having this account, by the way, is not only can you upload and share photos, but this site also allows you to store photos as well, meaning that they'll be here for you for forever and ever, for whenever you need them. And we're going to see later on why archiving photos can be so advantageous. So right now you can see I'm signed in, and I'm going to press the upload button now. And I have a choice of how I want to share my photos. I can either drag and drop, or I can browse. We'll do browse. Here I am in my test folder, and let me take that new photo that I created, and you can see it will automatically upload it to my library. Now you can see here while it's uploading, I also have other options. I can add photos from Facebook. I can add photos from a specific URL. Success, my photo has been uploaded, and now my photo is available to share with everybody else. So I'm going to press the View Library button, and you can see some of the other things I have uploaded in here, but let's say we'll pick this one. I'm going to click it, and even here I have different things I can do to it. I have options. I can do some basic editing, not as much editing as I showed you with the other programs, but if there's something you forgot to do, you could always do it. And I have some very easy sharing methods here. I can share to Facebook. I can share directly to Twitter. I can share via email, and I can share to other services. Other services include things like Pinterest, other Windows Live, anything else I'm using. You guys would probably mostly use the via email or the via Facebook. So sharing a picture from here is quite simple, quite easy, and that's really all there is to it. Very easy to do. You can upload as many pictures as you want, and you're good to go. Flickr works very much the same. Again, you can create albums, you can create a library, and upload your photos in order to share them. Okay, step 5 is called repurpose and archiving. After your digital images or videos are shared, after you publish them to Facebook or to PhotoBucket or wherever, they are now part of what we call your digital footprint. And we've spoken about this term digital footprint before. In this sense, it's a good thing. This is part of your online history. The more images you add to your collection, the larger your library becomes. If you take pictures in your class every week, and every week you just add a different folder, week 1, week 2, and so on and so forth, then you're creating an increasing library that you can use for things later on. My wife, for example, runs an after-school program for kindergarten and first grade students. And every week she takes the photos that she takes during the week. If they're doing a project or they're baking or they're singing songs, whatever it is, she shoots. She always has her digital camera with her. She takes photos and videos whenever she can. And at the end of the week, she creates an online photo album in Picasa. And she sends a link to the parents. And just like that, everybody can see what happened during the course of the week. Now, what's nice is she always has the photos stored online from all of the weeks. So she may start with week 1, but by the end of the year, she has 40 weeks worth of photos stored. She knows they're in a secure place. She can always go back for the following year. And more importantly, if she's doing a special project, like it's a kid's birthday, or she wants to check to see how she did something last year, or she's putting together an end-of-the-year video compilation, whatever it is, everything is in one place and everything is secure. So when you need photos for other projects, you can always go back and view your creations from past classes. And like we said, sites such as Flickr and Picasa, what these sites really do is they enable you to store and sort old photos and videos. Picasa is actually, I lean a little bit more towards Picasa. Both services are perfectly fine, but Picasa, because it works with your Google account and because it works with Google+, it makes sharing, once you upload photos or videos to Picasa, they automatically get shared wherever you need them, wherever you want them to go. So repurposing and archiving is the 5th step. Now, what we've done here is we've just gone over some very basic ideas for working with photos and videos. The real challenge comes in what we said was step number 3, which is the edit time. Editing photos can take a little bit of time to get used to, even with the online platforms that I showed you here. And that's okay. What I recommend is that you take some time to play. Editing photos may take a little bit of time, but it is also a lot of fun. Especially when you're doing it for the first few times, you'll start playing with the effects and the different adjustments, and you'll create some interesting things. So for this week, your mission is the following. I want you to take some photos of an upcoming class session and/or project. In other words, easy enough. If your class happens to be doing something anyway, if there's something special going on, or even if it's just a regular class session, take some photos of the students working, take some photos of them presenting, whatever it is. I'll leave that up to you. I want you to use an available editing tool to make significant and noticeable changes to one of the photos. So just like I did with the photo of my son on the swing, I want you to take one of the photos that you shoot, and you can go to any of the sites I give you, or you can choose one of your own. It's up to you. And I want you to make some I want to be able to see that you made changes. Don't just adjust the contrast and send it to me. Make some noticeable changes to the photo. And then I want you to publish that photo as well as some of the other ones you took online, again, through your LMS or through Facebook or through Picasa, whatever you decide to use. And I want you to share the photos with me. So I should be getting from every person, I should be getting a link that says so-and-so has shared these photos or this photo album with you. Click here to view the photos. And that's what I should be getting from everybody. So this is a great time to really try something that everybody ends up needing. Like I said at the beginning, online working with digital photos is just it's a standard nowadays. So the more you know how to work with these digital images and video, the more you'll be able to do. Of course, like I say every week, if you need any help, you have questions, whatever it is, you have my contact information, and I look forward to seeing all of your photos. Okay, in this week's lesson, we took a look at how to work with digital photos and digital video that we take of our classes. I showed you some very simple to use and very useful online tools that you can use for video editing. We also took a look at the overall 5 steps of what to do from the time you take the photos and video till the time that you're finished with them. And finally, I asked you as your task this week to apply some of the knowledge and to try out some of what we talked about. As I said at the beginning, this is our last official pre-recorded lesson. I just want to speak for a second on what's going to be happening now to wind up the program. At this point, next week, once this lesson is concluded, I'm going to be sending out the contents and the directions for the final project. Don't get too concerned or worried. Everybody is going to get a different final project based on your specific needs and where I think that your skill level and where your understanding fit in. I've had really the privilege through this program to be working with all of you via email, mostly, and a couple of the live sessions as well. I've had a chance to work with all of you, and I have a pretty good idea of where you're at and where your strengths are. So I'm going to be sending each of you a personalized final project for next week. And then what we'll do with each person, I will be doing a one-on-one or a private, either a phone call or Skype conference to talk about the direction and to talk about how to get started. You'll have, I believe, 2 weeks to do the final project. And then after those 2 weeks are over, hopefully right before Shavuot, we're going to have one more live WebEx session together to wrap up the program. And then that will conclude our project together. So that's the plan. Again, I'm not going to send the final project until next week because I want you this week to focus on this lesson. But just to let you know what's coming up and where we're going to be going. So it was great to be with you this week, and I will see you next time. Take care.